Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, and it's a great pleasure for me to be back in Addis and to join this event and in preparation for the AGOA forum that starts tomorrow. And as you've said, we're here at a critical time because this really is an opportunity to begin this dialogue about where does AGOA go going forward, and what have we learned from the past 13 years, what has changed in Africa, in the global economy, in global value chains, and how do we take that into account as we think about the renewal of AGOA. And I'll talk more about this at some length with the ministers starting tomorrow, but certainly reaching out to the private sector and getting the private sector's input into that process is absolutely critical, along with government leaders, other stakeholders, the private sector, since we're putting so much emphasis on private sector-led trade and investment as being the critical factors for sustainable economic development in sub-Saharan Africa, how you all view the market and the opportunities and the challenges and where AGOA fits into that and where the U.S. government and other programs may fit into that is very much central to this exercise. So that's a long way of saying thank you for letting me be here, and I'm very much looking forward to getting your input through this process, including starting today. I think to answer your question, Katrina, we are at a very interesting moment here, and we often talk about how 10, 15 years ago, the economists talked about Africa as a lost continent, and now they have covers talking about Africa on the rise, and people's perceptions tend to fluctuate a great deal, and we shouldn't underestimate or underemphasize the significant challenges that very much remain in sub-Saharan Africa. But there is something going on that starts with African leaders who are committed to engaging in reform, and there's been good macroeconomic reform in a number of countries, good structural reform, better fiscal management, better management of exchange rates, that's created the environment where private sector investment at least has the opportunity to flourish. And then the question is, are the other factors in place that can help encourage that? And that's a little bit of what I think we're all here to talk about. So we see great potential here, and not just in the extractives industry, which tends to get the most significant attention, but as there's more and more of an emerging middle class that has disposable income, there's opportunity for consumer-led growth, there's opportunity for infrastructure, there's a great need for infrastructure, there's opportunity for light manufacturing, for more value-added production, value-added agriculture, value-added manufacturing, and figuring out how Africa, if it can address some of its serious issues, can fit into global production chains and create more jobs and more value-added jobs for its people. And we're optimistic about that, but it does turn upon both Africans and the rest of us doing what we can to try and address those issues.